The pandemic did not create the reality that we are in a post-institutional time, though it may have opened our eyes to it a little bit more, hasn't it? And so here we are as the church, understanding that we are moving beyond the institutional church, and so we have questions about how to do church, how to be church. And so isn't it wise to look at the pre-institutional church, how the first believers dealt with creating solutions to problems? Because yes, they had problems too. In fact, they had very similar problems to the ones we have. The apostles were receiving complaints that the widows and orphans were not getting equal distribution based on which group they were a part of. Sound like any church meetings you've ever been in? The apostles did two wise things. One is they said, we're the apostles, we know our job, and this is not our job. Our job is to spread the good news out into the world. We need to figure out how to handle this problem. And so we need to do it. And so the first church committee was formed, the deacons. The deacons were created out of controversy and trouble to help solve that. And the problem wasn't, how should we distribute goods to those who are in need? No, it was, who gets to call the shots? There were two parties, and they were opposed to each other, and they were taking it out on those with needs. That had to stop. That was not being church. And so the apostles looked at that, and they did not choose sides. They very wisely said, God's Spirit is a spirit of peace. God will work this out if we put everybody together around a table. And so they chose equal numbers from each side and sat them down and said, you're the deacons, you have a job to do, focus on your task, and pray and find resolution. We don't hear about it again later, so perhaps that worked. Perhaps it only worked for a while, perhaps it only works for a while for us. But God's Spirit is always empowering, always brings peace, if only we will seek that.